The new season of The Braxton is just around the corner, and they've dropped the trailer. And this is where we see Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton get into it over a cease and desist and whether or not Toni wanted their niece, Ashley Braxton, to be on the show. This comes after Ashley took to social media to expose that she had received inappropriate texts from one of her aunt's husbands. A lot of people speculated that it was Trina, but was it? Let's unpack some of what plays out in the Braxton Season 2 trailer.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So we did a video talking about Ashley Braxton's allegations of abuse that she experienced within her family. Since then, her own father threatened legal action against her, but we also heard that she had come back to the United States because she was living abroad, came back to the United States to do a podcast interview with her aunt, Tamar Braxton. Well, now all of that is playing out conveniently in Season 2 of The Braxtons. And the reason why I say conveniently is because one of the biggest issues, because we did cover and recap The Braxtons Season 1, was the fact that it felt like the sisters were using Tracy's son and Tracy's memory as a storyline, at the same time refusing to have Tracy's husband, the widow, express his side of the story. So now it feels like that's exactly what they're trying to do in Season 2, but this time it's Ashley who they're using. Maybe. But before we get into what plays out in the trailer, let me play for you a little bit of what Ashley said on social media several months ago.
So I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not talk to me because they think that I, at the age of 16, did something with her partner at the time. And I have been a nervous wreck to talk about something like this and to tell this story. A, because of my family. B, because I don't want people, it's not to hurt people to tell my story. But at the same time, I've been working through this so much in therapy, and this is something that goes way deep to my core in terms of worthiness and how I feel about myself, where I have to fully confront it and face it and talk about it, but talk about it because I also want to shed light for the women and the men and anybody who has gone through something like this, where you were underage and something in that sort of manner happened in terms of that sort of word of abuse. And I feel like I have to be careful with what I'm saying here because I don't want to be banned from talking about these situations. But also, so one of my aunts does not talk to me because I guess she felt like I did something with her partner at that time. And nothing happened, but I'm gonna try to tell the story quickly and also not name any names. And so I was with this aunt for the summer with my sister, and I can't remember how much time had passed since we were there in the summer for a little bit of time to when we got home. And when I think it was my stepmother was going through my phone and she found this conversation, this sort of conversation. And she showed it to my dad, and my dad called that aunt and we spoke about it and we talked about it a little bit. And I remember it was just a lot of emotions. It was a lot going on. I was 16 at the time and I'm 32 now. I had to think about it. I'm 32 now. And so one of my aunts, oh my God, it's been 16 years. This is wild. Anyway, okay. So yeah, my aunt was there for me. She was very kind and very nice and was like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, blah, 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 blah. And not blah, 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 but she was very kind and it just felt like safe, you know? But then as the years had gone by, it's like that mood and that assumption that I didn't do anything because I was a child was not that assumption anymore. And it boggled my mind because it was like, wait, but if it happened or if it was true, then that would make him, you know, and like, you're okay with that? Like, that's what you would like. So, oh my God, to hear. And I will just never forget how when I got older, I just realized that I really had to take the time and go back to that part of my life and understand how much feeling of like I didn't matter, that I was unworthy. It just felt like love from my family was just cut off and gone. And you're like, but wait, that guy?
So a lot of people speculated that she was talking about the late Gabe, who was married to Trina. So Trina talks about being bullied in the comment section after Ashley's video. So let me get into the WeTV preview. And we're doing this under fair use. We're not going to show you the video. We're just going to play the audio. And we're doing this for commentary purposes. Just got to give you that disclaimer because it's interesting what plays out in this scene. So this 7-minute trailer that they have, sneak peek into season 2, this dinner that the sisters sit down at, this is where Tamar confronts them about getting a cease and desist because she was going to have her niece, Ashley, on her podcast. A podcast that's probably no longer in existence. But okay, let's take a listen to this. And I'm going to stop and go so that we can break down some of what is being said here.
We have had a series of unfortunate events in the Braxton family lately.
What we were told is you didn't want to film with us.
Well, you already know why I want to film with y'all.
Wait a minute, hold on.
My niece Ashley, who we love very much, posted her videos on social media with some accusations about her family. My family was a little surprised.
Well, there was a lot going on the internet.
Tamar announced that she would be interviewing our niece Ashley on Tamar's podcast. I didn't think it was a good idea.
I am getting Ashley here. You're not going to make me feel bad about that. I wanted her to come to a safe place to tell her story.
And all of this happened right.
I will tell you this. When I first heard about Tamar bringing her niece, flying her niece over here to have this conversation, I want to preface this by, remember, I think it was during one of the seasons, or was it Ayanna Fixed My Life? I can't recall where it played out. However, Tamar talked about her own abuse. So I know a lot of people are saying it makes complete sense that Tamar would embrace her niece and say, this is a safe space for you to have this conversation. But when I heard that she was doing this on a podcast, I was just like, not everything has to be for public consumption. And I know they're filming a reality show, but mind you, this was not going to be on the reality show. It was just going to be on the podcast. But they talk about that in this preview.
Before we started shooting season 2 of The Braxtons.
Next thing I know, y'all tried to shut down my entire
Don't
business.
say y'all.
Sending a cease and desist.
Pause. You just pay attention to the words that are coming out of Tamar's mouth. She said, you try to shut down my entire business. This is my thing. Is this not even about the niece? There are context clues that we need to be paying attention to.
It's shutting down my business. Exhibit B. The cease and desist.
Because wouldn't the first thing, if you really were trying to help your niece, wouldn't the first thing, it's not about shutting down my business. You're trying to shut me up. You're trying to not allow our niece to speak. That was what would come out of my mouth if that was my true intention in having her on the podcast.
I got a cease and desist before Ashley was on my podcast. I didn't even say anything.
I was not involved.
I wouldn't be shocked if this cease and desist did not come from one of the sisters, because remember, there were reports that their brother was the one sending legal docs to his own daughter saying that she should not speak any further on the family.
Any way, shape, or form of sending a cease and desist letter. My name.
Trina wants to make sure it's clear because remember, everyone assumed, because Ashley never said who it was, everyone assumed it was Gabe and that Trina was the aunt that did not speak to her. Pause before we get to the end. Before you start thinking, oh no, it's not Trina, maybe it's Toni. Because they flash back 3 weeks before this dinner. We'll get there.
Nowhere on it.
Nobody wanted to come to my defense.
So you gonna sit there and say, Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton, I got you on
Toni
the phone.
Braxton? No, Toni Braxton ain't never had your back.
I got Toni Braxton.
I want to know
No,
record.
I wanna be-
You want to
no.
say I don't have your back?
You didn't have my back when they...
With a heavyweight, don't put me, Tamar. Don't.
Hold on. Toni says, I'm a heavyweight. Don't F with me, Tamar. Oh. I don't believe Toni was the one who sent the cease and desist. Because literally you see Tamar say, oh, you didn't have my back when it came to the cease and desist. I don't believe it was Toni that sent her the cease and desist.
With Toni Braxton. And then when Toni said we need to have her on the show,
I told you we need to have Ashley on the show.
I never say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
never said that.
She's
It's around my
lying.
mother. Don't swear your mother.
I said just show her the Chiglin circuit, and we shouldn't do it.
You said have her on the Braxton show.
So there was a little bit of confusion here. Toni didn't ask for Ashley to be on the podcast show that Tamar was doing. She wanted her on this season of the Braxtons. Important to note.
You said that.
This is not the forum.
You said that.
Don't you go there.
Don't you? Go there.
So now Toni gets up. You've already probably seen this clip multiple times as a preview for the season. Toni gets up, pushes the table away, and gets in Tamar's face. So they're rewinding back to 3 weeks. And then we get this scene with Tamar and Ashley 3 weeks before this sit down. So let me play some of the audio because there's also a sit down between Tawanda and Trina. And it's important to note what you hear Trina say in this scene.
My gosh, I'm hungry.
Me too.
Thank you.
Reach out to Ashley and invite her to come on your podcast and talk about her story.
Well, I'm Ashley's aunt. She is my brother's daughter, and I know what it's like to be in pain and no one comes to your aid. Okay? The difference between me and
That
Ashley...
is Tamar talking about the abuse that she experienced when she was younger.
I went to my family for help, and they told me they wasn't gonna help me. And I wanted to offer that to her because I felt like it wasn't offered to me.
How do you feel about the platform that Ashley is being given?
I think sometimes people take the opportunity that's given to them without even thinking.
I will say this, watching Trina in the scene, remember, if you watch season 1 of The Braxtons, and I'm talking about the new show, she talked about the struggles that she was having between eating and drinking and things like that. I will say in this scene, I don't know, she seems a little inebriated.
The repercussions. You should never hear something about your family through social media first. Period. People who have absolutely no knowledge or idea of the situation were bullying me.
Right.
I was devastated.
Because a lot of people naturally assumed when Ashley described the situation that maybe it was Trina and her ex-husband, now late husband, Gabe.
I was absolutely devastated. I told you, I'm sorry that this has happened to you, and I embraced you.
So it sounds as if she's confirming, Trina's confirming here that she is the aunt that had the conversation with Ashley. Again, this is a sneak peek. We'll have to wait and see for the season if this is the one that had the conversation with Ashley.
There was something additional that you needed from me. Why didn't you call me?
So now they're back in scene.
What is your objective? What in your prayer? What would you
Tamar.
like to accomplish for you? Are you concerned about your family?
What I'm saying is a lot.
So when she says what I'm saying is a lot, Tamar's facial expression, and look, this could be just Tamar's theatrics, but for someone that's concerned, it didn't feel that way. It feels like, oh, you're saying a lot? Oh, you're going to be saying a lot. Again, I understand. I can see the perspective. You know, Tamar wasn't protected and she wants to protect her niece. But is this the way of protecting your niece? Bring it out on this platform. And I'm not saying, because we've talked about this too in cultures where people keep the family secrets. This is not a family secret anymore. Ashley took to social media and brought it out there. Fine. But I feel like they're using this for season 2. Very much like what they did with their nephew in season 1.
I think it'll be a surprise for people.
The new season of The Braxtons premieres on WeTV on October 10th. As I said to you before, my main concern here is that people aren't really concerned for Ashley. They're not really trying to protect Ashley. They're doing exactly what they did with their nephew, Tracy's son, last season. So that is my main concern here because, yes, I could see where Tamar would want to protect her niece and give her a platform to talk about this. But at the same time, I'm like, was that your true intention? We also keep in mind, Tamar is an executive producer and she's full-time this season. She wants this season to be amazing. Number 1, dare I say. So now a lot of people are reacting to this clip of Toni and Tamar getting into it because they've always been really close. They've never really gotten into it. We did see on social media that Toni was blocked by Tamar. When asked about this, Tamar didn't really reveal that it had anything to do with what played out during this season. So we shall see. Maybe it does. Guys, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the Braxton season 2, the sneak peek, I should say. It's about 7 minutes. But feel free to share your thoughts and opinions on what you watch and what you heard me share here. And if you'll be watching on October 10th, the new season of The Braxtons. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.